Look here, Mrs. W. These strawberries that actually we overwintered in here before we potted up the other ones in the new containers. Look, they got some flowers coming.
Yeah, there's one or two actually, isn't there?
Mmm.
Yeah, lovely. I think that one there has got some coming too. Can I show you that?
I do love it when it's strawberry season.
Don't we all?
Oh, look at these spring greens. They've actually been really quite a success in this polytunnel, haven't they, eh?
Yeah, very clean looking and lovely, aren't they?
Yeah, we're going to be able to eat just about every leaf.
Fantastic.
And that's going to be food for us toward the end of next month and through May. And also the carrots. If you look down here, you can see just how they've picked up now. They were tiny plants when you last saw them, but now the foliage is now starting to grow. And that should give us some lovely carrots during May and through into early June until our others are ready, that we shall be sowing outside in the plots. Now in today's programme, it's time for us to be planting some potatoes out into our plots. There is just one more weekend to go now in March, and that'll be Easter weekend. So that means that we are just 3 weeks away from our last frost date, which is mid-April. Hello and welcome back to the No Dig Norfolk Gardener. In this space here I'm going to be planting some potatoes, and I'm going to be planting out some first earlies, which are a variety called Casablanca, and I'm also going to be planting out some second earlies, which are Charlotte. Myself and Mrs. W have taken a decision that we are not going to be growing main crop potatoes in our plots this season. I don't know yet if that's going to be permanent, but at the moment we can grow other things in our plots. And remember, with the polytunnel we've lost one of our outside plots. We now only have 4. So I want to make sure I use these to grow food that is expensive for us to buy. And at the moment, I can buy main crop potatoes for about £15 for a sack. And they're organic. That sack's going to last us 3+ months. Unless, of course, we get lots of visits from the kids and the grandchildren. And they last slightly less longer. The main reason of that is because main crop potatoes, they actually occupy the ground for so long, and also they take up a great deal of space. So I've dedicated this space to the first and second earlies. We still have about 20 tubs left, and our strategy is to plant the remaining tubers that we have into those tubs, and we'll let those grow on. We won't harvest those during the summer months, and they can remain in those tubs ready for us to harvest hopefully around about October and November time and through December, so that we've got some nice potatoes that we can use. And then if we want to do some nice roast potatoes, we can use the main crop potatoes that we're going to buy. Now, you get asked a lot of questions about potatoes. How do they grow in no-dig soil? They grow perfectly well. And in this space here, there will be 40 potato plants. And that's because, being no-dig, We just pop the potatoes into the ground at their recommended spacings, which is round about 12 inches for the first earlies, a little bit wider, perhaps 15 inches for the second earlies. But what we don't have to do, we don't have to leave spaces like this in order that we can then drag the soil over them to hill them up. And if you think about it, the only reason that you really do that to your potatoes is to stop them going green. There are other ways around that, which we'll look at later on in the season. So we'll start with the Casablanca, which is a first early, and as you can see, they've got nice dark chits and not the white spindly sprouts that you see coming out of your potatoes after they've been in your cupboard for a little while. So to plant your potatoes in no dig is simplicity itself. I just put the trowel in, make a slit, pop the potato into the ground. You can see there that the chits are facing upwards, and then we just cover them over, and it's as simple as that. The potatoes want to go down about 5 to 6 inches into the ground, and that's the length of that trowel. The roots of the potato will come out of this end. They won't be the roots that will actually form the tubers. So just always remember to plant them with the chits facing upwards. Potatoes in and on their way. Now the reason why we can be doing this now is because we garden in zone 9A. We know that by the 14th, 15th of April, which is now 3 weeks away, that when these shoots emerge, there shouldn't really be any danger of frost. But in a comparatively small space like this, if we were to get some late frosts, then we would just cover them with a bit of fleece. Also, if you are going to be growing your main crop potatoes, I do urge you to plant all of your potatoes in the ground at the same time. You'll get an earlier harvest, and hopefully those main crop potatoes in particular will avoid any blight that will come along or might come along during July and August. We've always done that. When we used to grow main crop potatoes, we always planted everything at the same time. And I used to harvest those out back end of July, didn't I?
Yeah, yeah.
And we didn't ever have any trouble with blight, and we got good harvests of our Maris Piper. So Casablanca that we planted is a first early, so in about 12 or so weeks time we should be harvesting those. But these are the potatoes that we started off right at the end of February. You can see they're looking really good. They're unaffected by frost in here. So March, April, May we should be able to harvest these 2 tubs, certainly during May. And then about a week or so later we put these in, didn't we?
Yeah.
You can see these are now finding
to come through, aren't
their
they?
way through.
And which variety were these?
These were Rocket.
Oh, that's right, yes, yeah.
Rocket. We decided to have another go at those because we haven't grown them for, probably the best part of 10 years now since we last grew Rocket. Because we've been trying different varieties, haven't we?
Yeah, yeah.
But these potatoes are reputed to be ready within the 12 weeks. Hence the name Rocket. So hopefully we shall be enjoying some nice new potatoes during the month of May. You can see here all the pricking out that Mrs. W's been up to. There we go, Frank, the endive is through. So hopefully it's not going to be too long before we see some harvest of that vital ingredient. These are the honeycomb tomatoes.
That was one of the new varieties we're trialling this year, isn't it?
That was suggested on that video,
yes,
wasn't it?
Yeah.
These are the red cherry. Mrs. W's personal favourite.
Yeah. And Roma in the same tray.
And Roma, yes. Yeah. Which Ken suggested, didn't he?
Yes.
And then they are the Moneymaker and the San Marzano. Then on top of that, I happened to be out and about and popped into a garden centre. And there was some seeds there that said super sauce. And I read the description on the back of the packet. And it actually claims that one tomato from this plant will do a jar of tomato sauce, didn't it?
That's what it said.
So that was a challenge, wasn't it? I had to buy them. And we use a lot of tomato sauce for some of the base of our cooking. So yeah, we'll see how they goes, and you can see later on in the season when we harvest them and Mrs. W makes her tomato sauce. Is that claim true?
We shall see.
Will one of those tomatoes make a whole jar of tomato sauce? That was the seed packet.
F1 super sauce.
So you want to see how these turn out, and do they actually make a jar full of sauce from one tomato? And the best thing you can do is to subscribe to our channel and make sure you click on the bell icon so that you'll be informed whenever we upload a video. Now, just a little update on this new variety of pak choi we're growing. They're looking really quite good, aren't they, Mrs. W? And I mean, I could pick some leaves from this and use it in our cooking, but I'm just going to see how they go and see if they will make, you know, their normal pak choi shape before they actually bolt and go to seed, which is one of the things that generally happens with pak choi when you want to grow it.
It does to us, definitely.
It's claimed on the packet that you can grow these for most of the year and they are extremely slow to bolt. We like our pak choi, we love to eat stir fries, so yeah, I'll be really interested to see how they go. The variety is Yushu, and yeah, I'm really quite intrigued to see how they will go. Overall, growing in here has been really quite successful. We've had a little bit of slug damage, not as much as it was before Christmas when the tunnel was first put up, and those slugs were probably overwintering in the plot. The odd nibble out of the pak choi, as you've seen, but in the main everything looks actually really quite good. The radish that we put into the ground, and you saw me eat on the last video, they haven't really been munched at all by slugs. And these...
spinach.
Yeah, the spinach, they are recovering. They don't seem to be being damaged as much.
When we first put them in, we lost quite a few, didn't we?
We lost quite a few leaves.
Yeah.
Actually, in the greenhouse where we put some more spinach, they are looking much better, aren't they? They didn't really get hit by slugs at all.
No.
But that greenhouse has been a no-dig greenhouse, and the greenhouse has been there for a number of years. So I wouldn't expect there to be so many slugs in there. We don't really see much in the way of slug damage, do we, in there? It was the red spider mite that's causing us a bit of problem at the moment, certainly last year. So I know that a lot of you have sent comments in saying, yes, we would like you to produce a video regarding slug control. We are right in the middle of making that video, and I hope that it will come out within the next week or so. And we shall explain to you the various methods that we have used over the years and how they can help. So do look out for that video. Do have a great gardening week, won't you all? And we shall see you here back in our Norfolk garden on Thursday.